Hey guys. So had kind of an unexpected departure from school today. I didn't mean to get sick on y'all, but I figured that the sub might not know what we're doing, and so I thought I would make this real quick and just kind of give you a basic outline of what we're doing today, so y'all can get to work and we don't lose a lot of time. So we're going to start off with a quick quiz. Remember, folders up, so put your manila folders up so people keep your neighbors honest, and then when you're done, just fold them up inside these manila folders so the sub knows when you all are finished, and then put those into the black trays for your period. Just like always, no talking during the quiz. That's pretty obvious, but I'll be asking the sub about that. Okay, so today you're working on your solutions. Keep in mind, DevGru, you're staying after Thursday or Friday, your call. And just a heads up, it might not be Thursday. I might have something going on Thursday, so it might just be Friday again. Thursday people, I will try to get in touch with you separately. Alright, so today's learning target, you are preparing solutions to your problem to present to your benefactor. Remember, you are trying to figure out how to present your problem and also your solution to whether it's the WHO or the CDC. So you're preparing your solution now. You've already done your argument for what you think the problem is, and you're trying to solve it. Alright, so you're doing that so that you can earn the fundraising from that investor to solve the problem. You'll know that you have it when your table has agreed on an idea for a solution. Okay, so that's what you want to begin building your PowerPoint or Prezi around, that you're going to create a solution. Alright. I'll let you guys go through that as a class, this slide. Well, you know what? We'll just do it here. So again, you are forming an argument based on empirical evidence that changes to an abiotic or biotic component of an ecosystem affect populations either positively or negatively. Alright, and then today what you're doing is evaluating your competing designs for maintaining biodiversity and ecosystem services. That's your job today. So we're finally at this part here, this second standard. You are going to create a design for maintaining that biodiversity, for counteracting whatever imbalance there was, and then maintaining ecosystem services. Alright, so today's your solutions day. Be sure that you're working on that. You should have found your problem already. You should have clicked your empirical evidence. You should have made your pitch. So you sent that in. And now today you are focusing on the solution. So keep that in mind. Your primary focus today is the solution. There are 3 or 4 main steps of finding a solution. The first one would be that you need to know your problem, the main factors that comprise your problem. Step 2, consider the possible ways of dealing with those factors. So you want to think about, okay, we know what the problems are, how do we deal with that? And then step 3, you want to look at people, how they're currently proposing to solve this problem. So what are they currently doing? What's the current work that people are doing to solve that problem? I want you to be able to identify strengths and weaknesses of those problems and then develop plans for overcoming those strengths and weaknesses. That's kind of part 4 that we'll talk about later. Alright, so an example. I've got the abstract here. It says that the guinea worm is a parasite that targets humans in regions of Africa and Asia. It's a nematode that lives inside of a human until it burrows out of one of their extremities in an extremely painful exodus. It has a large impact on communities as many villagers become infected or die from complications resulting from open sores. It is hard to remove from an ecosystem because of the large numbers of offspring deposited into drinking water and the lack of clean drinking water. So when I start my process, I say, what are the main factors of this problem? Well, it looks like that it targets humans. It's hard to remove from an ecosystem because of the large numbers of offspring in the water. And I guess the second part would be the lack of clean drinking water. So those are your main factors that make your problem a problem. Step 2, you're thinking about, how do I address these factors? How do I address the problems of clean drinking water or the extreme number of larvae that are in the water? So how do we prevent those new cases? The third step is trying to figure out what are the current solutions. So what are some current ways they're trying to provide clean drinking water for people in Africa? And then step 4, I would go into what are the strengths weaknesses, and what are the suggestions that I would make for changes. So that's what you need to begin. That's step 4. After you're evaluating other people's arguments, you want to figure out how to make your PowerPoint or Prezi, whatever you're going to present with. So the main factors, again, were the extreme number of larvae that leave your foot and go back into the water, and the fact that they don't have clean drinking water, so they're drinking nasty water. How to address this, you've got the cycle here. So they did their research and figured out how the cycle of the nematode, that guinea worm, how it works, and they decided that they wanted to take the larvae out, so kill those if they could. And how do they prevent them from getting into your body? Okay, so those are your two main things. So they thought, well, what are the solutions? How do we solve these things? Most solutions with water quality in Africa and other developing areas is trying to find different ways of filtering the water, which has been a problem because most of it's not mobile. So once they get their filters set up, it's hard for villagers to take it to a place where they can get it filtered. So they looked at strengths and weaknesses of these current solutions, and the suggestions they made were education, filtration, and eradication. So first they had to educate the people. A lot of those problems they were running into was the fact that people were not really sure what they were doing. So when someone gave them a plan, they couldn't understand why they were doing the things they were doing, and they eventually just gave up on it. So filtration wasn't working. Eradication wasn't working because they did not understand it. So education was the first big part that was missing from current solutions. That's why they were failing. So it was complicated, and there's the whole KISS principle. KISS in engineering is the whole keep it simple, silly. Or you probably heard keep it simple, stupid. So you want to keep things pretty simple, and a lot of these filtration systems were pretty complex. Alright, so they're using filters, and that was good, but they're also heavy and you couldn't move them around. So they began to look at camping designs. What do backpackers use to keep their water filtered? So they found a very similar filtered design that backpackers were using to keep their water from giving them giardia or whatever else that we have here in America. And then they looked into pesticides, and they're trying to find ones that were deadly to the guinea worm, but they had to test out quite a few because it took a while to find one that wasn't toxic to humans. So again, they looked at a bunch of different solutions, and then they tried to figure out how to make them better, how to make them more appropriate for our problem. So what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to grab a whiteboard, and then at the front, or maybe at your table by now, I'm not sure if people have been putting them away, you should have a little plastic tub with 4 dry erase markers on it. And in those different colored markers, I want you to write the 4 steps. So, what are the main factors of the problem? How do we address those factors? What are the current solutions? And then what are the strengths, weaknesses, and suggestions that we would make? Okay, so that should walk you through kind of how to find the solution that you all want to have as a group, and then you can begin building your PowerPoint or Prezi on that the end of today and maybe tomorrow. So you want to go through each one of these as a group. You're going to brainstorm as a group, get some ideas for step 1 and step 2, and then you can break out your laptops for step 3. And again, you're working quickly to, when you get to step 4, develop your strengths and weaknesses, and then talk about your suggestions that you all would make. That kind of should take us to the end of the day. If you get through all of these, I'd be surprised, but if you get through all of these, you want to begin building your PowerPoint and Prezi so that you can make your presentation and get that set up. If you have any questions, I'm not dead, I'm sick, but I'm not dead, so contact me on Prezi or Edmodo, and I'd be more than happy to help you guys. Alright, see y'all later.